Had a few email questions about question 19 from the reading. Please refresh the page before you get started and take a look and make sure it says 6.6 to 6.8 milliliters. And the question asks, what's the volume of this graduated cylinder? And that's the key, that you realize that 6.6 to 6.8. So if we take a look, this is approximately 7 milliliters because here's 8 and here's 6 milliliters. That makes each one of these about 0.2. So this would be 6.2, 6.4, 6.6 would be this line right here. So we are somewhere between 6.6 and 6.8, and we're a lot closer to 6.6 milliliters, right? The bottom of that meniscus is just above 6.6. So because we have a line at 6.6, we can all agree that it's at least 6.6 milliliters. And here's where significant figures come in. We can actually go one place beyond what we can measure. We would all agree it's at least 6.6. It's definitely less than 6.7 milliliters. So the next decimal place is the last decimal place we can report, and that's where the difference in this measurement might come in. So I happen to think it's closer to 6.6, so I might say I think it's 6.62 milliliters, which in scientific notation would be 6.62 E0, because you don't need to move that decimal place over. But it's important that you include that last decimal place, right? That last decimal place, we can include that because we are allowed to go one place beyond what you can measure. So 6.62, 6.63, 6.64, all of those should be acceptable, just depending on how you interpret where that line is. What would not be acceptable, right? What would be a wrong measurement would say, maybe you think it's 6.620 e to the 0 milliliters. We definitely can't go 3 decimal places, right? We can't go that far. And what would also be wrong is if you just left it at 6.6, because we can go one more decimal place. Even if you thought it was 6.6, to make it a correct possible solution, you should say 6.60 e to the 2 milliliters, because we are allowed to measure to that second decimal place, to the 100th of a milliliter. So hopefully that helps with question 19. And if you're confused by this, we haven't gotten to significant figures yet, and we will do that next week in class.